The Ark of the Covenant. The Adventures of Arin Cade. Inside a quiet Jerusalem museum, I stood before an ancient scroll, its secrets sealed beneath a layer of protective glass. Dr. Tao Oren, the curator, leaned in, his voice a low whisper that seemed to carry the weight of centuries. Arin Cade, this scroll may be the last true clue to the Ark of the Covenant. My heart skipped a beat. This wasn't just any artifact. It was said to have been written by a descendant of the Kehath family, the very Levites tasked with carrying the ark on its golden poles. My eyes traced the faded ink, landing on a familiar symbol, a stylized mountain. Mount Nebo. That matches one of the legends, I said, my mind racing. Jeremiah supposedly hid the ark there in a secret cave before the Babylonian invasion. Dr. Oren offered a warm, knowing smile. Then your adventure begins. A thrill, sharp and electric, coursed through me. This wasn't about gold or glory. This was about touching history, about chasing a whisper that had echoed through millennia. This was history, alive and breathing. The journey to Mount Nebo took me across the vast, sun-drenched Jordanian desert. The air itself felt ancient, charged with a profound stillness. As I reached the slopes of the mountain, where Moses once stood to view the promised land, a sense of peace washed over me. I pulled out my digital scanner, its screen flickering to life. I wasn't just relying on old legends. Modern tech was my guide. A moment later, a hollow space appeared on the map, a void deep beneath the rock face. That's a promising sign, I whispered to the empty desert air. Following the scanner's coordinates, I found a narrow crevice, almost invisible against the rugged terrain. Securing my climbing gear, I began my descent into the cool darkness. The rough stone walls weren't natural. They were carved with faint but unmistakable symbols of cherubim, their wings outstretched, just as they were described on the ark's mercy seat. It was a sign I was on the right path. My boots finally touched solid ground at the bottom of the fissure. Before me stood a heavy stone door, covered in a thick blanket of dust. It looked like it hadn't been disturbed in thousands of years. As I brushed away the sand, my fingers traced a tiny inscription etched into the stone. The ancient Hebrew was clear. Only the reverent may pass. It wasn't a puzzle or a riddle. It was a test of intent. I took a deep breath, centered myself, and placed my hand gently against the stone. With a soft hiss of displaced air, the massive door slid open, revealing the darkness within. I stepped through the doorway, and as if by some unseen mechanism, torches along the corridor walls flared to life, one by one, illuminating my path. The air was cool and dry, preserving everything within. At the far end of the long hall, a single pedestal stood bathed in the warm torchlight. Resting upon it were not one, but two objects, a single golden pole, identical to the ones described for carrying the ark, and a small stone tablet. It was cracked down the middle, but its surface was covered in finely engraved Hebrew script. My hands trembled slightly as I carefully lifted the tablet. This wasn't one of the 10 Commandments. It was a message, left for whoever was worthy enough to find it. I read the words aloud, my voice echoing in the silent chamber. The ark is not here. It has traveled where people kept the faith. My mind began to connect the dots, tracing the path of the Jewish diaspora. Jerusalem, Babylon, the trail goes cold, but the legends, they point to Ethiopia. My eyes widened in realization. Aksum, the Church of Mary of Zion. It all clicked into place. This aligned perfectly with one of the oldest and most persistent traditions, that Menelik I, the son of King Solomon and the Queen of Sheba, had carried the ark to his home in Ethiopia for safekeeping. Gently, I pocketed the tablet. My next destination was clear. The journey was far from over. Arriving in Aksum was like stepping into another world. The city was a vibrant tapestry of sound and color, with lively music filling the air and the warm Ethiopian sun glinting off ancient stone obelisks that pierced the sky. Here, history wasn't confined to museums. It was part of the living, breathing city. I sought out a local historian named Salam, a cheerful woman with a deep love for her country's past. When I told her of my quest, she smiled kindly. "You're searching for the Ark? Many come here looking for it. But only a few seek knowledge, not power." Her words resonated with me. "I'm here to protect history," I replied honestly. "Not to take it." Salam nodded, her expression warm and approving. She led me through the bustling streets to the famed Church of Mary of Zion, a beautiful white-walled sanctuary nestled within serene green courtyards. A single guardian stood watch at the entrance, an elderly monk with bright, peaceful eyes that seemed to see right through me. Following Salam's lead, I bowed respectfully. "I'm not here to take anything," I said, my voice steady. "Only to understand." The monk's weathered face broke into a gentle smile. "Then understanding is what you will receive." The monk guided Salam and me through an inner hall. There were no grand traps, no deadly puzzles like in the movies. Just a profound sense of quiet holiness that permeated the air. He brought us to a small, unassuming chamber, softly lit by golden lamps that cast a warm, gentle glow. And there, in the center of the room, it stood, a stunning reproduction of the Ark of the Covenant, shining with intricate gold and craftsmanship. My heart thumped against my ribs. "It's so close to the descriptions," I whispered, mesmerized. The monk nodded serenely. "It teaches people. It inspires faith." Salam, standing beside me, smiled. "The real Ark is not here," she said softly. I already knew. I had suspected as much since finding the tablet on Mount Nebo. The true Ark wouldn't be on display. But the question remained. If it was taken from Israel, where did it go? I asked, looking from the monk to the replica. The monk reached into the folds of his simple robe and pulled out a small, plain wooden box. He opened it and revealed a single fragment of stone, its surface smooth and ancient. He handed it to me. As I rotated it under the lamplight, a symbol on its surface began to glow with a faint, otherworldly light. It wasn't Hebrew. It wasn't Egyptian. My breath caught in my throat. I recognized it. It was a sigil matching the alien technology I had found deep inside the Black Pyramid in Antarctica, on another expedition entirely. A shocking realization washed over me. "The Ark," I whispered, my mind reeling. It wasn't just a sacred object. It connected something much larger. The monk's voice was gentle, yet profound. "Many things in history carry more than one truth, Arin Cade." In that moment, everything I thought I knew about the Ark of the Covenant was turned upside down. Its legend wasn't just about divine power or a physical object. It was a story of guidance, of faith, of law, and of protection passed down through generations. Whether the Ark had been moved, hidden, or even taken off-world, its true power was never in the golden box itself. Its power was in what it represented. It brought people together. It inspired courage in the face of impossible odds. It protected the vulnerable. And as I was just beginning to understand, it connected civilizations across time and space in ways that defied conventional history. The Ark was a conduit, a link in a chain that stretched far beyond our world. As I left the church with Salam, the late afternoon sun cast long shadows across the courtyard. Children's laughter echoed against the ancient stone walls, a timeless, joyful sound. Salam turned to me, her eyes curious. "So, did you find what you were looking for?" I looked at the scene around me, the peaceful sanctuary, the vibrant life of the city, the weight of history all around us. A soft smile touched my lips. "I found something better," I replied. "A reminder that some treasures aren't meant to be taken. They're meant to be understood." I carefully placed the strange stone fragment in my pack. It was no longer just a clue to the Ark. but a key to a much greater mystery. As I walked into the golden Ethiopian sunset, the warm scent of incense and flowers filled the air. I hadn't found the Ark, but I was one step closer to understanding the true nature of our world's greatest secrets. The adventure was only just beginning. Thanks for joining me on this incredible journey. If you love history, mystery, and adventure, make sure to like and subscribe for more. Until next time.